Previously reported that these complexes undergo associative rate determining state, as you can see this one. These states reported to be associative. And
all of them. So it was a really good job. Just put together and clap for yourself now. So thank you so much. I know that you guys
So this is our research paper, 10 octahedral T2G6 complexes substitute associatively, and we have taken the case of the isoelectronic ruthenium hexa-aquaruthenium 2 complex and rhodium 3 hexa-aqua complex. And this course is related, this paper is related to our course since we have already recently studied about the reaction mechanism of inorganic complexes and especially substitution reactions of octahedral complexes as well as substitution reactions of square complexes. So first of all, I will introduce you about the general concept of exchange mechanism. We have already studied that in octahedral complexes, we have studied that these complexes undergo reaction mechanism by substitution method, and they go substitution by three methods, either by dissociative mechanism, which is also known as SN1 mechanism, or they go, that is hexa-aqua-ruthenium 2 complex and hexa-aqua-rhodium 3 complex. These are our reference complexes. We will be comparing these two complexes. So this research paper explores water exchange mechanism in two octahedral complexes, hexa-aqua-ruthenium 2 and hexa-aqua-rhodium 3. So if we will see the configuration of these two, so both are state volume and reactant volume. Second term is electrostation. So electrostation, that this is basically the charge effect of the electric field effect of the positive charge. Like more is the charge, more will be the water molecules surrounded will be polarized. Annealation reaction means the substitution reactions of an octahedral complex by an anionic ligand. Okay. Now next,
now I'm going to discuss about water exchange mechanism. This is a general reaction. So water exchange mechanism, there can be three possible mechanisms: dissociative, associative, and interstick. In dissociative mechanism, first dissociation of ligand take place, and we got a 5 coordinated species. The geometry of this is 5 pyramidal. In dissociative mechanism, there is a expansion of volume takes place because of the delta V star is equal to positive. In associative mechanism, first addition of ligand takes place and we get a crowded 7 coordinates. In IA, associative dominates over dissociative, and in ID, it dominates over associative mechanism. Now let's further discuss this.
That was done hexa-aqua-metal complex, which will follow which mechanism we will discuss in the dissociation, IA mechanism, ID mechanism, based on their volumetric activation. Let us see which mechanism does it follow. As we move left to right in a group, we know that the number of electrons increases and it will be filled in the T2 orbital. That if we see the hemodiagram. So there will be a repulsive interaction of ligand with metal ion, and as the ligand will.
So now we are going to discuss the mechanism pathway of these two complexes. So but I will discuss the rhodium hexa-aqua complex. So as we can see that this complex is hexa-coordinated. So firstly we discuss whether this complex can go via associative mechanism. So experimentally it has been shown proved that this complex doesn't show associative mechanism because when we take substitution reactions of this complex with different
using Gaussian and Genesis program, the basis set of Stevens were used for the transition metal ions, and the basis set 631G was used for the oxygen and hydrogen atoms. Calculation allows us.
Okay, so where we started was can low spin octahedral complexes show substitution reactions associatively? So the overall experiment says yes. And what are the experimental conclusions that we can draw from this is that rhodium plus 3 oxygen bonds are stronger than ruthenium plus 2 oxygen bonds, obviously because of the positive charge, greater positive charge, because of which water exchange on ruthenium aqua complex proceeds via IA pathway, and that was the question. Whereas the same reaction follows of the ruthenium follows ID mechanism. What is the critical analysis? That reaction mechanism at metal centers depend upon their charge and size. Unavailability of a transition state does not altogether discard the possibility of a mechanism. A single parameter should not be considered while determining the reaction mechanism. This is my view.
The reaction is not going by a purely associative pathway, because if it would be going by a purely associative pathway, we would be determining some hepta-coordinated intermediate. But in the whole reaction, in the whole experiment, we didn't get any hepta-coordinated intermediate. So we can't say, but it is going by associatively activated, but interchangeable.
Okay, thank you.
First coupling is as follows, and we can see that the reaction mechanism goes through 1 to 4 complex. The P catalyst is activated with a base, and it generates PD0 complex, which is complex 1. Then it reacts with aryl halide through oxidative addition and forms complex 2, which is palladium 2 complex, which bounds with the amine to form complex 3, and which is treated with base to form complex 4. The complex 4 undergoes reductive elimination to form the desired product. Activation, delta S of activation. By using this, we can determine.
Previously, we used Q1 as the precursor for the catalyst. If the above prediction is correct, then at room temperature, the amido complex 4 is should be isolable. Now we are using this precursor for the and this precursor which upon the reaction with the L1 and the oxidative addition with the aryl halide with the corresponding oxidative addition with the corresponding oxidative addition with the A complex. This on the this on the addition of the lithium biphenyl amine, which is this is on the addition on the lithium biphenyl amine.
Effect of different aryl and aryl halide that affects states in the RD state of the catalytic cycle. So for these inputs we compare the chlorobenzene and chlorobenzene. We get that in chlorobenzene there is a 20% reduction in the rate of the cycle. So
now we need to check about the what happens when we change the ligand substitution and the kinetics of the reaction. So if you use the usual ligands like glucose and S-phos, which is similar substitution as the ligands, that is isopropoxy and methoxy, so they give almost similar rates and similar rates. But when you increase the electronegative substituent of the ligands, such as in the R2 position we give OMe or NCH2, then it will decrease the rate of the reaction. This is because the NCH2 and OMe are donating groups, so they increase the electron density on the ring, and which in turn increases the electron density on the metal center. So the reactive reduction rate will decrease. And then if you want to increase the rate of the reaction, then we have to change the R1 group to NCH2, which is the bulky group. So this will put the N out of plane to the ring. So N cannot donate the electron density to the metal, and hence it will only minus the effect of the concentration effect, and then it will increase the electron density of the ring, which in turn increases the electron density of the metal center, and hence the reactive reduction rate increases, which is evident from the studies of the kinetics, which gives the L9. So L9 gives the highest reaction. Amido complex is based on the ligand L1 and L2 will give similar rate of relative elimination. As you can see in the graph, it is similar rate of relative elimination L1 and L2. But from the L4 and L5 data, we can see it is lower rate of Dutch eliminations as compared to the L1 and L2. It was first for the L3, the legal L3.
So this is us, we can say that reductive elimination is not so chemically step for the number of palladium catalyzed cross-talking reaction. And in the future, this cross-talking reaction can improve by doing in room temperature and minor conditions. In the future, reductive elimination of complex 4 is studied by reaction calorimetry, and it was found that palladium to complex as a
One question.
Yeah. So you mentioned about 31 phosphorus NMR. So how many peaks will be present?
There will be just one peak, because you know that we have understood that the rate determinant step is the reductive elimination step. So the rate determinant step is usually the slowest step.
V delta V dagger, that is activation of volume. What can be has two parts. One is intrinsic volume, that is the electrorestriction effect. So for what we have studied is that spectator ligands. Spectator ligands are basically sort of amines what we have used. So for this, that delta VEL is very small, so we can just neglect that and we can measure the rest of the part. So delta V dagger, it is very easily experimentally measurable. So we can collect the data from delta V dagger.
This reactant portion, this is the splitting of d pi and the d sigma star, and whenever we are going to the transition step, is basically in the interchange mechanism. It happens in the heptacoordinated system. So in heptacoordinated system, it basically splits like this, and in chromium 3, that is the D3 system. So 2 electrons are in the D alpha, that is the non-bonding interaction, and one electron will be in the D beta, that is the anti-bonding interaction. And in
the ligand from the methyl to amine to methylamine, the bulkiness and the basicity of the ligand increases, which increases the metal and oxygen bond length, which enhances the chances of the reaction getting into the dissociative mechanism. And if the reaction rate, water exchange reaction rate, and the ligand, when the ligand is in the trance, the water exchange reaction of the CRT positive IA mechanism.
we know. First one is MRI contrast reagents. Generally, gadolinium-based MRI contrast reagents are used because gadolinium ions can quickly exchange through the water molecules in the coordination sphere, enhancing the image quality. In Gatesi reactions, also the water exchange reaction plays an important role for the evolution of hydrogen production.
Thank you. That question. Go ahead.
You are telling the basicity of that when in case of bond between the metal and oxygen. How is this?
It can very much can be rationalized by sort of trans-Baker Greenberg theorem. So Greenberg theorem says that if ligand is more basic, so electron is metal ligand is giving electron to the metal, so the metal ligand bond is getting stronger. So basically the electron probability of finding the electron in between the metal ligand increases. So the other part, that is which is of the other part, that OMO1. So that part goes more because the bond order is decreasing. As the metal ligand increases, as total probability is fixed, so as metal ligand increases, the metal oxygen bond goes more away, so the bond order
Okay, thank you very much. So please submit the evaluation for group 7, please.
Involvement of a binuclear palladium-3 complex involved in the mechanism of palladium catalyzed CX bond formation reactions. Before this work was published, it was thought that this palladium catalyzed CX bond formation reactions involve some palladium-2 or palladium-4 intermediates. But this research group has shown the involvement of a binuclear complex, and we are going to elaborate on it. So my question is pretty easy. I am going to give a very brief overview of the entire work, and my group members are going to elaborate on each and every point. So at first we see a cyclopyrrolation reaction. where we see the attachment of the ligand to the catalyst here and the formation of the of the required binuclear complex.
Thank you, Hiroshi. Now I am going to discuss the first possible mechanism, where the first step is dissociation and the second step is taken as reductive elimination. Now I have to find out which step is the main RD step, the slow step. Let's consider the reductive elimination step is the slow rate determining step. But at first, dissociation is happening first. So its dimer form of palladium complex is breaking into two monomeric forms, right? So the now reagents amount, the stoichiometric coefficient of the reagents is 2. So the rate should be second order reaction. But the experimental evidences shows that this is the first order reaction. So the reductive elimination is definitely not the rate determining step. Now it's time for dissociation. In case of dissociation, the main focus is the breaking of palladium-palladium bond, which is formed in this octahedral complex. Now, we don't have such evidence regarding breaking of the palladium-palladium bond in class 3 oxidation state. But we know the bond energy for breaking the palladium-palladium bond in class 1 oxidation state. From basic concept, we can say that the bond length in palladium-palladium in class oxidation state is slightly greater than the bond length in palladium-palladium class 3. So, the second, to break the palladium-palladium class 3 bond, it will take more energy than the previous one. To prove it, they have done some experiment. They have substituted this methyl moiety with a chelating ligand, and it forms a chelate product. And due to its rigid structure, it's stable and it provides some rigidity. Now, to break the palladium-palladium bond, it requires more energy. From theoretical calculation, we can say the rate should decrease this time 12,000 times than the previous one. But in experimental evidence, we get to know that the rate is decreasing just by 16 times slower. It's not 12,000 times, right? So we can conclude that the mechanism 1 is not followed. Now I am giving the mic to someone.
By the palladium bimetallic core complex. This is the Hudumer structure, and as you can see that here palladium and palladium chlorine both are antibonding in nature, and during the reductive elimination both palladium atom reduced by 1 electron. And if the mechanism is on concerted reductive elimination reaction, then carbon heteroatom bond formation is occurs. But this mechanism, the above discussed mechanism, is for the isolated palladium bimetallic core complex. And this is stable at minus 30 degrees centigrade. But if we keep adding BHQ, benzyl H-quinoline, then that has an effect on the formation of carbon heteroatom bond formation. And this main motive of our work, that is the formation of the carbon bonding with the heteroatom. Whatever we discussed earlier was for the isolated system, and I will discuss about the catalytic cycle. This moiety upon dimerization forms a square planar complex where the palladium is in +2 oxidation state, and upon oxidative addition it forms an octahedral complex, and palladium gets oxidized to +3. Q moiety is in perfect geometrical orientation. It shows reductive elimination, and again the palladium +3 get reduced to +2, and there is no bond between two palladium centers. And to get that the starting material, we are using BHQ as a solvent. Upon reaction, we are getting the starting material, and it can again participate in the catalytic cycle. I will hand over the mic to
Thank you, Abhinandan. Now, it is an obvious question that why we are bothered so much about the palladium-3 complexes rather than the conventional palladium-2 and palladium-4 complexes. You see that the obvious reason is its biomimicry capability. You see that the palladium, that is in the in vivo, it has a ligand-induced oxidation reaction rather than of the in vitro oxidation-based ligation. And not only that, the palladium H center acts as a one electron carrier, which resembles to our most of the metro enzymes like FEAs and glucoproteins, etc. Not only that, the palladium-3 is also capable of synthesizing a lot of natural products. Not only natural products maintaining the chirality of the alpha carbon atom, so it can be used for synthesizing the steroids and nucleides and everyone. And not only that, I would like to thank my team and Professor Rajaraman.
Okay, quick question from me only. So, you mentioned about fluctuality that is essentially affecting the mechanism. Could you please comment on it?
Do next night step.
Here we use tetraacetate complex. Okay, tetraacetate complex shows flux analytic, and
they little bit modified that by deuteracetate, okay, much higher. But if there is chlorine, then the absorptibility is little bit lower. For this, the product formation yield is 94%, but here that is 64%.
Thank you so much. Next group, please. Next one.
So, good afternoon everyone. Today our topic of discussion is the amazing chemistry of halogen, and in particular to do that we will explore the associative and dissociative mechanisms that happen in halogen-rich dinuclear platinum-2 complexes. Now, as we all know, square planar inorganic complexes like platinum-2 complexes undergo associative and dissociative mechanisms, but that depends on the ligands. For example, if we use typical, let's say, halide ligand, then the dominating pathway is found to be associative. But for example, if we change the ligand to an organometallic like methyl, dimethyl platinum something, then the pathway switches to dissociative, and this is attributed to the fact that the platinum-2 center is rendered electron-rich by the strong sigma-donor ability of the methyl group, which retards the nucleophilic attack. So here we can see the various mechanisms, the intermediates, and the rate laws are mentioned here for your reference. So now the question is, what happens if we go to our interest complexes, that is the dinuclear platinum-2 complexes. Here in literature it has been mentioned that these complexes exclusively undergo associative mechanisms. So these are the complexes which are most relevant to our study. It is previously reported that these complexes undergo associative rate determining step, as you can see this one. This step is reported to be associative. And similarly this one, where the dimethyl sulfide breach is being freed by an incoming dimethyl sulfide. Again, the first step is RDS, and this is found to be associative. So our goal is to see whether these kind of dinuclear complexes can actually undergo dissociative mechanism. And the answer is yes, you will find out soon. And to do that, we will use this kind of a, this kind of a complex here. By varying the R ligands, we can actually show that these complexes can form both dissociative as well as associative pathway. So Ankon will continue with this one.
So they have done the mechanistic study for all these 4 complexes. What we observe is K1 plus K2 into concentration of halogen, where the K1 is the rate constant for the dissociative mechanism and K2 is the rate constant for associative mechanism. And they have done the study for in 2 solvents.
So as you have seen that Chemical complexes can follow acidic path and acidic pathway for linear distance, or complex study can also follow the acidic path and acidic pathway, but it depends on the substitution of ligand. If the ligand is methyl or alkyl group, then the platinum centers are electronically rich and acidically less hindered. So acidic pathway and acidic pathway, only acidic pathway is followed, and as you have seen that these are the possible mechanisms for the 1s and 1s, but acidic path is only followed. And among them, the ANM path is more favored. Why is it in this slide? It is more favored because here the character is the product 2A and cutting metal 1A. Then the X-ray data of the product in this one.
In categorization technique, the first one is X1NR. So we are focusing on methyl groups attached to the platinum to distinct each per bit orbital. The first one is around 0.56 ppm for methyl group that is strung to the phosphorus, and the second one is for the methyl group that is strung to the sulfur or nitrogen. That is around 0.71 ppm. That's deshielded due to the electronegativity effect of sulfur and nitrogen. And the next technique is UV visible spectroscopy. So used to track the reaction kinetics and observe the color change as halogen replaces dimethyl sulfur.
Substitution effect. The rate of the reaction of 1A and 1B is greater than 1C and 1D. This is due to 1A and 1B is less electronegativity than 1C and 1D. Temperature effect. As we seen before, when increasing the temperature, the number of pollution increases, as well the rate of the reaction is also increased.
Hello everyone, now I'm just going to say about the biological applications of this. You can see that in respect to toxins, which is actually used
we can use it halogen for the anti-cancer complexes because these are the large hydrophobic moiety, so it can easily enter into the cell due to this hydrophobicity. So if we just use the combination of platinum with this halogen complex, because platinum are known and reported to have been in combination with the DNA because and it is actually because of two factors. Firstly is the EPR effect, which is actually called enhanced permeability and interaction factor, and secondly is the Warburg effect, and it does the intrastrand mechanism. So why not do a combination of both? If we see the cisplatin does similar work and combines with the N7 of guanine, so why not we use this one? And it is computationally and DFT studied that this complex can have a cell apoptosis by DNA intercalation, which triggers the intensive path of apoptosis and triggers the caspase activation from the cell apoptosis. So I thank everyone for your patience to listen to us, and thank our Professor Rajarama for this. Thank you very much.
Okay, we have some time for questions.
The IA and IC. Okay, the IA and IC. In IA, there is a methyl group. All are the methyl groups. So these are both electron rich. So there is no chance that they will form a platinum-platinum bond because the 5D Z square are.
Because it is dissociative solvent effect has no role. So what is the logic on that? Could you please explain?
Suppose if there is a dissociative effect, means in the associative effect the solvent is playing a role, and acetone is more nucleophilic than the benzene. So in case of acetone, the rate is decreasing, K2 is decreased than in case of benzene. But if there is a dissociative mechanism, then only the LMX is taken, is a first order reaction. So rate is first order with K2 substrate. So there is no near concentration of the incoming nucleophile. So there is no concentration of solvent effect.
Time is up, sorry. Thank you very much.
What is the effect of the subsequent to the present and the silent? So now, if the electron donating group will attach to the aryl substituent at a para position, then the product will be destabilized and the rate of the reaction will be low, and the percentage yield will be very less. So, electron deploying group is the stabilizes the product, and the rate of the reaction will be fast, and the percentage yield of the product will be more.
Very good.
So, and finally the product will be square planar geometry.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay. And these are almost similar in each aspect, just differing in subsequent positions. Okay. Now computational analysis of PT2 complexes. DFT calculations have done. They are done for these complexes, and after doing DFT calculations, they got some bond parameters like bond length, bond angle, and LEO charges, homonymic energy, band gap energy, and electrophilicity index. As we said, electrophilicity index are in the correct order, but there is a reactivity order which is slightly different. So it will be explained by.
So hi everyone, my name is Lucas. As my fellow described, now I am going to explain the order of the reactivity. As you can see, experimental data, the values of K2 follows the descending order by second, third, fourth, and first. With the highest reactivity of the second. The reactivity depends upon the two factors, phi diamotic and sigma transitate. In the second and the third complex, you can see.
So the reaction kinetics was correctly used in the concept of absorption. Absorption is directly proportional to the concentration of the absorbing medium. So in the reaction mixture, we have platinum alpha-Cl and imidazole. Imidazole will act as a nucleophile and it will replace chloride ions in the reaction mixture. Because of increase in the conjugation, there will be an increase in the absorption, and we'll get an increase in graph of absorbance versus time. So this graph resembles the graph of the first order kinetics of concentration of product versus time. So we can say that the reaction is following the pseudo first order reaction, and we call it a pseudo first order reaction because here we have taken the concentration as a constant. However, we can study the effect of the concentration of nucleophile by plotting the graph of P observed versus the concentration of nucleophile. By plotting this graph, as we know that P observed is equal to concentration of nucleophile into the second order rate constant, we can get from the slope the second order rate constant, and on the basis of the second order rate constant we can compare the reactivities of different nucleophiles. Now I will explain the reactivity of different nucleophiles.
In this table, the angular charge values and the pK values of azole nucleophiles are shown. As we can see, for the azole nucleophile, the angular charge value of N2 is lesser than N1, as the electron present at N2 are localized. For methyl nucleophile, as
here in this experiment, the 5 nucleophiles here. Here we differentiate the 5 nucleophiles. These are on the basis of their, they have the qubit only. Here the pK is low, that's why it is acting as the acidity is high and the basicity is low. That's why it is nucleophilicity of that methyl is high. In that dimethyl there is another effect which will be applying that steric hindrance. That's why its nucleophilicity is low. In the next, we will find that there same effect is here, that it is the pK value is high, so there the nucleophilicity is high because of its basicity is also high. In the last one imidazole, we can see that there is only the pK is high. pK is basically high in the only one, so 2 tautomers are possible, but in the triazole there is the 3 tautomeric structures are possible. That's why this is the more reactive towards the metal. So there is a high reactivity towards the metal when the nucleophilicity order is there.
So we have seen how the reactivity of presence of electron donating and electron withdrawing the present on phenyl moiety in this particular complex trans to the leaving group affects the reaction rate. So the presence of electron withdrawing group actually increases the reaction rate. That is actually due to pi back bonding, and which is further facilitated if the electron withdrawing group is present at the para position. Now the unexpected behavior of this complex pKl4Cl is observed, where the presence of electron donating group actually increases the reactivity, is more reactive than the substrate where there is no any substituent present. So that is actually due to sigma trans effect. And now the reactivity of azole nucleophile is dependent on basicity, steric effects and other electronic effects. And at the last, the activation parameters that includes entropy, which is negative in this particular case, confirms the associative mechanism. That's all. Thank you so much.
Very good.
Questions?
Can you go back to the back slide? One more. Can you explain this pK value?
So basically, more the pK value, the lesser is the acidity. So that means lesser the acidity, more it is acidic. So after this delocalization, the negative charge is going to delocalize over the system. Again, it is being aromatic, it is stabilized. So in this particular case, the negative charge is going to stabilize it. So the presence of 2 electronegative groups actually increases the acidity over this first one, and the third one, if we see, it is comparatively less acidic. The reason being the conjugate base which is formed after the delocalization. The negative charge, basically due to inductive effect, in the first 2 cases, inductive effect is operating, which actually increases the acidity. In the last case, this is not the case. So that is fine.
Alright, okay, we are up with the timing, so thank you so much. Please Congratulations for Group 10 as well. We submit it now, right now. Everybody has done fantastic job.
Thank you, sir.
I really impressed the depth of the presentation, the paper that is taken. A lot of papers are very recent one, and the depth of the presentations in many cases were really great. So you guys have spent quite a bit of time in understanding the papers, put together the presentations, coordination, cooperations, everything I could see. So really a great effort. Hopefully, I can see that all the concept, whatever at least I've taught so far, is very clear to you.
Yes, sir.
So there was no confusion in terms of understanding the mechanism. That's the end result I want to see it. That I could see it in all the presentations, all of them. So it was really good job. Just put together and clap for yourself now. So thank you so much. I know that you guys